All right, well, welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to familiarize ourselves with the buying experience section here on Dwellyo. And today for this setup, what I have is our agent here on the left-hand side, and I've also added in our buyer on the right-hand side. And I thought it would be really helpful to see exactly what the buyer sees. And so, as you take various actions and do things, you can understand what your buyer experience is, and we can see what the effect of all these things are. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is head over here to the buying experience section, and we're going to go ahead and open up that drop-down box and click on buyers. So with Dwellyo, the buyers only have the opportunity to look at properties once they've established a relationship with either an agent or a lender. And so they can be invited by either agent or lender and help set up their process. So essentially all you need to do here is come up to the right-hand corner. You can click Invite Buyer, fill out this information with appropriate messaging, and go ahead and send that invitation. Now, the buyer will receive an email letting them know of their invitation. If they have not already set up an account with Dwellyo, then they can go through the account setup process at that point. Once they do that, they'll need to come in here, head down to their Manage Account and into their profile, in which case they'll be able to navigate down here to their agent section. And over here on the right-hand side, there will be a button where they can accept your request. And once they do that, you guys are now tied at the hip, and you'll be able to keep track of what your buyer is doing in terms of searching and reviewing and doing all of those things. And you can interact through messaging as well as setting up a whole number of processes, automated processes that will help assist the buyer in their journey. Now, if they have a relationship with a lender as well, they will see that section down here and they will be linked. The lender, and at that point, you, the buyer, and the lender will all be able to interact together and make sure this deal happens with as few hiccups as possible. So once we've invited all of the buyers that we're working with, we can head down here to auto prospecting right below buyers. And at this point, we can set up an auto prospecting process, and that will allow us to send or automate the sending of matches as new properties hit the market. And essentially, we can either start here and set up a new process, or we can modify existing auto prospecting processes here. And if we take a look at it, you'll notice that it's pretty standard in terms of the criteria that we can set up here. So price, square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, and so on. Down here we can pick different property types that they want to search. Now, as far as where they want to search, you have a number of different opportunities. If they're looking at specific cities, you can add multiple cities in this spot here. So if they want to search here in, let's say, Huntersville, you can simply add those to that list. So you can have multiple cities that you want to search in. Or you could do it based on zip code. So if they're interested in a specific zip code, obviously you can set that here. If they're looking for specific neighborhoods, you can enter in those neighborhoods here, and then based on the data that we have from MLS, we can go ahead and find properties in those specific neighborhoods. Finally, of course, you can put the age of the building and the HO fee limits if there's anything like that that they want to filter for. So we'll go ahead and filter those changes. First time that you do it, you can go ahead and click Enable or Run. That will take a look through our existing inventory, and anything that matches that set of criteria, an email will go out to your buyer with a list of all of those properties. And then every day we'll look at the new inventory as it comes in, and anything that matches that criteria will get sent to your buyer in an email. Now, they do also have the opportunity to come over here into their buying experience, and they can take a look at those prospecting matches here. So again, we're going to get a list of all of the properties that match their specific set of criteria. They do have the opportunity to go ahead and view that property in its detail. They can look at all of the photos associated with that particular property, and then get all the pertinent information. So how many days on market, and all of the details, price history, zip codes, facts and features, and I believe we've got you know, all sorts of different information about what's going on with that particular property. So they do also have an opportunity here to schedule a tour. So if they would really like to see this property, they can go ahead and fill out this quick form, letting you know what their preferred date and time is, and then any messaging they have, and they would simply request the tour, and we'll see where that shows up for you here in just a minute. We can go ahead and save that as a favorite, and so out of all of those matches, if there's a couple that they really like, they can favorite those and keep track. Now they also have the opportunity to share this property directly with you. If for some reason they want to send you a link to that property, maybe they've got some commentary or want to tell you, these are the sorts of features that they would like to see in the properties that they want to buy, they can simply add that note and share that directly with you, and you will get both an email notification as well as see those properties as favorites for your particular buyer. Now they have the opportunity to write a review for that particular property as well, and reviews show up in two different ways. So as a buying agent, you'll see the review from the buyer, from all of your buyers individually, so you can keep track of the comments that they're making on particular homes, and so maybe that'll give you some insight on features of homes that they particularly like. If this is your property as the listing agent, then you'll get an AI summarized version of all of the commentary that's being made on that particular property, so you can see what people are generally saying, what they like, what they don't like, and get that honest feedback. But it's going to show to you in the same way that Amazon shows summarization of product reviews. So customers generally like this feature about the product, and they generally don't like that feature about a product. So as the listing agent, you're not going to be able to identify an individual who has commented on your particular property. You'll just get the overall sentiment and some of the commentary about that. Okay. So moving on, we can also, if you're, we can see all the prospect matches for all of your buyers. You can filter for an individual buyer and see exactly what prospecting matches they are seeing. So again, helps you keep track of what they're looking at and how things are going. So we can see here when they do make a viewing request, you'll see that list here, and you have the opportunity, of course, to either confirm or decline. You can take a look at those details and then confirm and decline based on availability and all of those factors. So this is a great way to keep things organized, and you can see all of the viewing requests that you have coming up. Now, if you do have any buyer reviews, if they have made any reviews, you would see those all listed out here. You can see the comments, and then you can take a look and understand exactly what your buyers are saying about the properties that they're looking at. Now down here under loan definitions, and again, one of the key advantages of Dwellyo is that we're really trying to bring together the lender, the buyer, and the agent all working together on this same deal. So if they have a relationship with a lender, they've gone through the pre-approval process, the lender will enter that pre-approval into the system, and then a buyer will have the opportunity to filter out homes that don't match their approval criteria. If they're still in the process of looking for a particular lender to go through that approval process with, you do have the opportunity to create a loan, we'll call it an aspirational loan artifact, right? So we can go in and set there's an income limit, a max property type, down payment, interest rate, terms, and those sorts of things. Now this is not their pre-approval, and I would make sure in the notes here we document that this is not their pre-approval, but it is, let's say aspirationally, this is what they're shooting for their pre-approval, and it'll help them understand what they have for properties in the area that would match that amount should they be pre-approved for that particular loan. As soon as the lender puts the pre-approval in, then they'll filter by that loan definition. But this gives you a nice quick start to make sure that they have what they're looking for. And that's simply a matter of clicking the new loan definition button and then filling in the details. And so you'll see a list of all of the loan definitions that you have here, and so you can keep track of those as necessary. Finally, in this section, we have my documents. Now, my documents can be very important, and here you'll have the opportunity to upload offers to purchase, or if you're a listing agent and you're receiving offers, you can upload multiple offers, and then in the advanced services, we'll see how we can actually set up an automated process where all of the offers for a particular property can be evaluated side by side, and it will make a recommendation as to which offer is best based on the criteria that you set for making that decision. But here's an opportunity to upload all of the documentation associated with that particular deal, or all of your deals, and then that way you can kind of keep track of things. Now, if you upload an offer to purchase for a particular buyer, the AI will evaluate that offer to purchase and create a list of tasks that the buyer will then be able to follow through with. And so if they go to their dashboard, if they had tasks associated with this particular deal, then they would see those listed out here. So everybody can kind of keep track and make sure everything's happening as it should. Now, as for the loans, just to loop back around to that, when we're not searching for a loan application, we can see all of the properties available, but if we want to filter that down to just the properties that make sense based on the loan that I've been pre-approved for, we simply pick the loan. Now, if you're working with an investor and they may have multiple loan products that they're working with, then they can simply choose the loan product that's appropriate for their search, and then it'll filter out the properties appropriately. And so now we can get a sense based on the green and red dots which properties match their loan and which don't. Okay. And so with that, that is the buying experience section of Dwellyo, and I hope this was informative. And again, our objective, as always, is to make the process as smooth as it could possibly be, and make sure that you have the understanding of not only the things that you can do for your buyer, but how your buyer will receive those items as well. So with that, I'll thank you for your time.